Okay, this is September the 9th, 2015. I don't know this very well, but I'll try my best. This is important information nonetheless. I bought a lot of antiques out on eBay. Some of them are good and some of them are garbage, but the ones that sold the best stuff are the ones that don't have this flashy. They're very plain. This is a jade dragon that I bought that I believe it is real. The ones that are fake are usually very soft and they're not jade. This is probably about 2,000 years old. I don't know what period it is. I also bought lots of gold and silver, which hasn't done nothing in the market. This stuff has gone crazy. Huge gains in this stuff. Also, they've got a lot of bronzes. I'll show you some bronzes here. These things have done extremely well too. But how can you know they're real? Well, one of the clues is that it's a patina and stuff, which that tells you that they're real. But the oddest part is this stuff is sold. The reproductions, advertisers' reproductions, are actually selling for a higher price than these things have. But they're claim they didn't make no claim that they're real or nothing. They just put them on eBay and sold them. You take your chances because of China's notorious for reproductions and fakes, just truckloads of fakes. But yet, I believe it's real because, like I say, during that time period, China was not allowed to sell anything over 75 years old till about the year 2000 something. Then they flooded the market with this stuff. They drove the price straight to nothing. But ironically, the reproductions during that period were selling for a higher price than the original artifacts, which is something you don't see very often, but it happened. It didn't last very long. Now you go to buy this stuff, you're paying huge prices for it. Or you can buy reproductions. The reproductions will cost you more than the real items, which is, doesn't mean it's real. It just means it was very profitable for a certain period of time to make reproductions, because the reproductions were higher priced than the authentic item. These are also some items that I had bought. They're quite extraordinary. This very well may be pure gold. And it's 3 ounces, but I didn't buy it from China, but it's a Chinese artifact. Let me see if I can get it in here close. It doesn't come out very good. The video's not that good. But it's a beautiful piece, which I believe is really gold. I tested to find out if it was plated or not. I didn't want to damage it too much, so I didn't push the testing too far, because it could be just heavy plate. This thing, I did test this too. This turned out to be plated gold. But it's on pure silver, which if it's really a fake, I can't imagine why they'd use pure silver. But this is much older than the other artifact. This is probably, could be Tang Dynasty if it's real. And it may or may not be real, but it is pure silver underneath the gold. Most of these things are gold-plated copper. Not that valuable, and if it's a real, it's a reproduction, why use real silver? I mean, it really is solid silver with gold on it. So it may be real, but if it is, it's about 1,000 years old. It's Tang Dynasty. But it may be fake. It still doesn't seem sensible to make fake and use pure silver in it, but they could. It does happen. But this thing here may very well be 3 ounces of pure gold. I paid $2,000 for it many years ago. Don't know what the price of gold was at that time, but I was buying it for scrap. But I don't have a heart to damage it. It's too beautiful. Really test it. And I say jade has been doing crazy, insanely good. In 5 years' time, I read somewhere, and there's very little information on jades, and it's very hard to price. It depends in large part upon translucency. And this here is an artifact, I believe it is Dropa, maybe Dropa. Dropa believed that they found aliens, and they made jade carvings to represent the aliens. And this would be about 6,000, 4,000 to 6,000, maybe 7,000 or 8,000 years old. Which, if it's, I believe it's real. It's got the patination, what they call calcification. And ironically, the only part about jade also is that the real items are selling for less. The reproductions were selling for more than real artifacts, which is kind of absurd, but it did happen. You could buy, I've seen large pieces of jade sold on the Jade Road, I believe. Real beautiful, pure, pristine white jade. I had a big like that, a Buddha, for $5,000. The jade alone, rough jade, would be more valuable than the whole item was. It's absurd, but I seen it, and that's what it went for, just $5,000. I wish I could have afforded it, but I did already bought so much stuff I couldn't afford to buy that. But yes, the reproductions were worth more than the original artifacts, which is absurd, but it happened. And you could see these beautiful artifacts going for less than the price for rough jade. That if it had been carved, it'd be $100,000 if it wasn't antique. And jade has gone up like from 1990, I believe. I'm not sure what it was now, but in 5 years' time, went from $100 a kilogram to $100,000 in 5 years' time. 5 years' time, $100,000 a kilogram, when it was only originally $100 a kilogram. But that's fantastic returns. Yeah, when I bought this silver, it hasn't done nothing, and it's cheaper now than it's ever been. But I'm so fierce to get silver now. I'm presently trying to sell my house. I live in more micro homes. I don't care. I'm going to take my money, put it in the mining stocks and silver, because this stuff has huge potential. It can go to the moon when it goes. I do not know, because when I bought my jades, I expected jades to only do well, and if the economy did okay. But I bought it years ago. Now when I go on eBay, the stuff even on eBay is fantastically higher price than what I bought it for. I mean, really, seriously. I paid about, I'll show you a piece here. A piece of jade. What's here somewhere? Got so much of this stuff. Oh, here it is. This jade here. I bought that. About $150 maybe. I believe it's an incense jar. Incense jar, I believe. But yeah, I paid about $150, maybe $50 for shipment. You go on eBay now, it's probably $10,000, possibly as much as $30,000. This is probably real Ming Dynasty. Now we had an antique roadshow, a similar jade, to similar size, but it's lower quality jade, and it wasn't really old. It was made to look old, and it was $25,000 they appraised it at. That's fantastic. When you could buy this stuff for next to nothing. I don't know if everything that being sold today would still be worth. But this happened because China was not allowed to sell anything over 75 years old. Anything older than that was national treasure. And they could go to prison for it. This was about 2000 something. They weren't even allowed to sell the stuff. And when they were allowed to sell it, they flooded the market, drove the price right to nothing. What an opportunity to buy. But like I say, I didn't buy silver gold at the time. But I didn't know about silver gold and the economy going to bad. But I bought all kinds of his jade, bronzes. Now all the stuff is worth a fortune. I mean, clearly, just unbelievable gains. You know, everything from China just keeps going up. But yet I wouldn't buy much pottery, because pottery is hard to authenticate. And yet they claimed that jade was hard to authenticate. You couldn't tell if it was really old or not. But yeah, you can. If it's a burial jade, it's got patina. A real gemologist could tell if it's how old it really was by the patina. You're not supposed to clean a jade. Maybe new technology come along that they could fake it now. I don't know. But like I say, you can see the calcification on this thing, and the age, and the cracks and things in it. And I believe this is real. Like I say, it's about 2,000 years old. It's a beautiful piece. Looks so modern. Something Avon could have made. But yeah, it was only about $150, $250 maybe when I bought it. And that's a huge piece of jade. Good quality jade, probably. I can't tell underneath. It's all stained on the surface so bad. What they call calcification, I believe. And I don't know how you'd ever, have to, I don't want to clean it. But yes, it's an obscene value increase. And I basically got a fortune's worth of this stuff, and don't really want to sell it, and certainly don't want to sell it. The price is still going up on it. But I want to get into the gold and silver as much as I can. This stuff has gone, I mean, they sell more silver than they got. It's manipulated everywhere, but you can check on YouTube. There's all kinds of people tell you what's going on in the market, in the jades, and bronze. I mean, brass. I mean, I'm not used to this, but you could find out on YouTube how gold and silver should be much higher priced than it is, because it's been manipulated and they're keeping it down. And they've been so successful at, I lost $1,000 bet. Betting it would be $100 an ounce. And that was about, I bet him for about a year, and this was about 6 months ago that that happened. I lost the bet. I paid him before the bet was up, so I didn't have to pay the full $4,000, but it still cost me $600. But it was a bad deal. But still, you know, I'm selling my house to buy more of it. I don't want to sell my house too cheap because I just don't know when it's going to go, and I can't predict. But I know it has to go. It has to go. There's too much going on. And if you don't buy it, stock up and get ready for the crisis. That's your fault. But you've got to do more research on this. And I don't know if the opportunity in the jades and bronzes is still available, possible or not. I don't know. It may have reached its peak and it may keep going. But you don't have a situation like that where the art market went crazy. At the same time, prices went on right down to nothing. And the real stuff was cheaper than the reproduction stuff. You don't see that very often. You'll probably never see it again. But it did happen because China was a communist country and people only making $60 a month. And here's this market opening up and they start dumping them all at once. What do you expect? The real stuff was cheaper than the reproduction. You could buy a real jade for cheaper than the rough stuff. Carve it and it's worth $100,000, and a real artifact's only worth maybe $8 because it could be fake. But you can authenticate it. If it's burial jade, it takes a patina on. It changes. Look, I got more to say on this, and I'm not good at keeping track of what I'm saying. But this is important stuff to know. So I'm going to put it on YouTube and see what happens to it. I got to go. I'll have more to say next time. I'm going to have a lot to say how cheaper housing. I'm going to experiment with ways to live the cheapest possible way. I'm good with junk. I know how to make things work very cheaply. And this is stuff you want to know if you want to live on your own, you want to live in a micro home. I'm going to have some good stuff on that, and I'm going to be doing actual experiments with it. So, okay, for next time. How to stop this thing. There.